I'm sharing my tea moment with everyone. And what are we having today? It's autumn season, right? So decoration on the table. I've just now removed the other plate. And I'm going to share in a sweet read that I'm sharing on my website, right? And that I want available on the website. And while we are doing that, we're watching the Braxton Family Values, one of our favorite programs, and we're enjoying the autumn season in our lounge room, right? And with enjoying and celebrating the love of autumn season, I'm gonna make a cup of tea now while everyone is gonna just listen into our lovely what we're doing moments today. Let me quickly just prepare my tea moment. And let me make the television just a little bit softer.
After Gay passed so suddenly, Vaughn has been really understanding, but at the same time, I know it's been really rough on him. And I just don't want this rough patch to send our relationship off track. Oh my God!
Everyone, y'all can still also watch it with me television. Well, I'm quickly gonna prepare. I'm quickly gonna prepare a cup of tea. It's very nice to watch Braxton Family Values.
With all that I have, in a way I didn't think possible, I'd ask you.
And nothing would please me more than to be your wife.
So that's a yes?
So my answer is yes. Right this second, I'm just like. I don't know what else to do but laugh because when I get nervous, I laugh and I don't know why.
Congratulations, they are many more days. Hey, there we go.
Beat to capacity. My nerves is shot to shake. I was all in my feelings. Play with a puppy that lick your mouth. Shade central, baby. Ratchet. I'm just saying. I'll never come. Anybody got time for that? I ain't got time. Look at me. Look at your life, it's under here. Look at dog, the devil in the life, like the piss out of you. Well, plug my in 1,000 times. Why water? You don't have a chicken nor a child. When the pee go into the pussy, the stir, doo-doo is gonna stink. It's corn. It's frozen corn. I shouldn't be trying to toot my own horn, but in this case, because I did that. No, I'm gonna press some of the red cross. 100% Baltimore
The
fish.
good.
Don't. Not for it. It's your life. Not just right now. You out here. You look crazy.
Oh, chair.
Child wide open.
Chair that's not broken.
Such a professionalist. Did you say professionalist? It's time. Okay? Trina Braxton cannot twerk. Okay? She still talks with a Canadian accent and they don't twerk in Canada yet. Part of my standardization process. I think you get food for some creative. Jimmy. Like her black wine never goes away. Ain't nobody got
My snack. Just get the snack in. Oh, lovely. The camera is off. Let's quickly do something totally different with the camera. Quickly zoom the camera in. Lovely again. That's so we love watching our Braxton family moments, right? It's New Zealand time, and I'm gonna quickly add Q-tips without making my nails perfect, right? So what happens with our flat cake biscuits that we are selling on our website is we want everyone to enjoy our recipes with Ribea in these, right? So let's first leave the cake because I really want some flavors of the cake fine. And then while we are really going to not do our nails perfect because I'm gonna do my nails over Q-tips that I have, over color that I almost have on my nails, and it's not all cleared off. And I just am testing the different nail polish that we have this season, right? With AWOKH Fashion, we do a whole lot of different colors, and we're gonna still enjoy watching the Braxton family values, right? And all the craziness and chaos in the world, we still enjoy everything about our seasons. You really shade the game. Hallelujah. You know, they look so good. And if you can see it, you can smell it, and if it look like a horse. And what else are we doing during this season? So we have really not only tried to put our attention, to shift my attention and shift our attention with the AWOKH business to self, right? Another education that I want to focus on would be my leading this generation education. We want to really focus on our leading this generation education. There's interesting that you can make software. There's something interesting that I want us to focus on, right? There's something interesting that I want us to focus on with our leading this generation talk. Our empowered facts we prepared for our podcast. And when I did my empowered fact motivation, so what am I doing? I'm enjoying my breakfast Twinings tea, right? And when we gonna listen to our leading this generation empowered facts that I've shared, I'm gonna want us to listen to the education that I'm doing with leading this generation. And I know my educations are sometimes a little bit shifting from where I'm at, right? So for those people who have pressed play on the podcast, I know the podcasts are really point number one that people want to listen to, that they press play on when they listen to our leading this generation discussions, right? I know there's some people that shifted their attention directly to the videos, into listening directly to my education at hand, right? But for those people that went on Castbox and haven't found the most recent podcast, it's because I saw a different option in Castbox that I can upload. And it's because Castbox has given me an error, or the app gives me an error when I want to do the recording, right? So there's another option that I'm gonna have to try and upload the leading this generation's empowered weekly facts on. If I have problem with those uploads, then I probably would try my best to do it in YouTube, to do the podcast sharing of the empowered facts that I want to discuss a little bit more than more than sharing the empowered fact, weekly facts, right? So I want us to listen through the different empowered facts that I've shared on my social media pages, especially on Instagram, right? And on LinkedIn, I've shared yesterday 2 more empowered facts. There's 1 more that I have to share for the LinkedIn business owners that have pressed play on our podcast and that are listening to our educational journey on social media. So there's 1 more video that I'm going to share to them. And then there's going to be another professional podcast that we're going to share through on the empowered fact that we've shared yesterday on LinkedIn, right? So there's still 2 that I want to focus on. Still 2 empowered facts that I've shared through in the previous weeks that I want us to focus on in the discussion of my explanation of acknowledging the office business in season and acknowledging the structured requirement to adhere to business in its season, right? And to adhere to the office business in its season. And when we discuss exactly what is adhering to the office business means to Ribea, Elise, and all that I'm explaining, right? So what is adhering to the office itself? It is to recognize where business functions from. And I want us to listen to exactly what I'm trying to say. And I want us to listen to exactly where our empowered facts are motivating us through our different offices that we get amongst our generation, right? And I want people to have open-mindedness when they listen to a Ribea Elise's motivation and when they listen to Ribea Elise's what are we doing today motivations. I want our generation to shift attention away from what someone educated a generation of people what business is and what office means. I want our generation to logically reason where they are at, not logically deciding to reason where other people educated them at with regards to what does office mean, but logically listening to. This is now Ribea Elise in a day, and when Ribea's fashion motivation goes on, that's Ribea in another day, and when Ribea's business educates, that's Ribea in a different day. And in all of the combinations of business and of acknowledging the requirement to educate the business, acknowledging the business of ourselves. It is that in our day and year, we're working with people that puts countries in poverty, right? With people that are putting the world in war the way that they want to certain times. And we are required to acknowledge ourselves in everything that we are doing. When people tune in on you on a day that you were not expecting them to be in your house, then Ribea Elise already educated and said, but the office is not now specifically, we only call that person in the personal day. And now we somehow don't recognize and acknowledge them as being a person in business. But we educate ourselves and we listen to what does it mean to acknowledge and to adhere to the office business in its season. And that's where we are really going to still educate further on in our empowered facts and our HR 2024 podcasts, where our podcast is going to be available on Castbox or on YouTube or on our Facebook or Instagram pages. But we're going to further discuss those empowered motivations that we recognize and that year to acknowledge ourselves in our businesses and where we are required to be at. So with where we are required to listen to the motivation that goes along with encouraging business owners to acknowledge one another. We acknowledge ourselves when we own our businesses. We acknowledge ourselves with how we own our businesses. And we acknowledge ourselves with acknowledging the office business itself. And therefore, the office business doesn't become the building that people find themselves at sitting at on any day or the other. But to Ribea, Elise, the office business is exactly the recognition and acknowledgement that you give yourself when you function under the business office of our generation, right? And with acknowledging everything that we are required to do in our season, we acknowledge that now in our business, Ribea Suma says a flat biscuit cake, and with all the treaties and the kitchens and everything, and then people learn to listen to what they are required to listen to, rather wanting to listen to what they actually want to listen to about you. So we're not in a business where we give people the opportunity to select where do you want to be, at least to work at in business, but we acknowledge the completeness of representing our every season. We're acknowledging of our business and we're acknowledging self for what Ribea is. Other than that, everyone, we did a little bit of makeup also, so y'all can enjoy some of our makeup moments also. Let me just quickly tune in a little bit more before we're going to conclude with the video. And before we have our fashion moment, we're just polishing up for our fashion photos. So be fine with how we polish up for our fashion photo, right? So with that, we are celebrating our fashion education season in Auckland, New Zealand. We know we had lots of trials, lots of arguments, lots of loudnesses through our fashion season. And like I explained before, I want to do my fashion the way I want to do it. I don't want to be aggressed while I'm educating, not only even in my fashion, not even in my daily business. And I know we have a group of people that educates themselves to aggress people while people are educating fashion. So I want everyone to be lenient on people that's out there educating and walking their fashion journeys. And I want everyone just to, to acknowledge one another and to acknowledge self, rather than everyone wanting to trace you because they want you to explain yourself in a way that they only want you to explain yourself at. And therefore acknowledge everything you see. Since I love our makeup, I did some foundation color, yes. I did some eyebrow pencil. I'm just setting the lovely hairstyle. Yes, let me just quickly do that so that we get a little bit of everything that I'm trying to do. And then after I'm setting the hairstyle and the hair look, then we can share in this weekend on those lovely fashion photos. I know my hair gets sweaty very fast, so I'm really gonna try my best to have my hair not get sweaty fast. Now we're gonna press play again. And we're really, our television program with the Braxtons, and we're really gonna share on our fashion journey, continuing with our discussions with Ribea Elise. And we sometimes have to have our Ribea Elise moments, so people don't get odd when the fashion goes one way or the other way. Press play on our videos, press play on all our fashion photos. Press like also, and there's the fashion motivations, there's the photos, the videos, the motivations. There's a little bit of everything in our fashion motivations. Other than that, while we're doing fashion, have an amazing fashion season with us.